Welcome back to Nerdmusement, where if it's amusing to nerds, it's Nerdmusement. I'm the Count of Arcadia, and here is,
Quinn, as usual.
yes, we're going to have a more shortened episode this week, mostly due to the fact it's Black Friday this weekend, and there's not much news.
Also,
Sure.
we're just tired.
Yeah, we could argue about, stuff like He-Man, but you've already heard the arguments.
Yes. So let's start with the obvious. Did you head out into the wilds this Black Friday weekend?
I did.
Where'd you go? Which places you hit up?
I hit up Best Buy, Target, GameStop, Walmart, and oddly, Macy's.
Well, so you kind of did the rotation.
Well, Macy's, the only reason I went to Macy's was due to the fact that I thought I had heard that they were going to have a Toys R Us set up
Huh.
in their stores. And when I saw it, I was kind of, how can I say, disappointed?
Underwhelmed?
Yes. For those of you who remember the 80s, Ronald Reagan cartoons on at 3:00 in the afternoon on local stations and other things. Toys R Us was basically a warehouse of toys. You would just go down aisles that were dedicated to lines. There'd be the G.I. Joe line aisle, there'd be the He-Man aisle, there'd be the Barbie aisle, there'd be the My Little Pony aisle, there'd be the Transformers aisle. If it had a brand, if it was a smaller brand, it usually was all together with stuff. But you just had a ton of stuff there.
No one else could compare in terms of volume.
Well, there was also Children's Palace, but
then they went by the wayside. But Toys R Us was the toy store for well over a decade.
But it was just kind of, I went into the Macy's. I wasn't expecting much, and my disappointment was even worse. It was basically, I thought it might be, set up by categories or things. It was just small bedside tables they put toy items on and then said that's a toy section.
Did they even put up like a Toys R Us sign or anything? Or?
Yeah, there was a version of Jeffrey that they created for the revival of Toys R Us that was at the American Dream Mall, but it was just it was underwhelming. It was just kind of like, if you're ever in a men's section of a department store and they just put stuff out, that's what it was like.
So basically, they just did what they probably would have done anyway for a toy section for Christmas, and just paid a little extra to slap the Toys R Us label on it.
Basically.
Yeah, that is disappointing. So it's weird that you mentioned that you ended up going to Macy's.
Yeah.
Because I ended up going to a Dillard's.
Really?
It was. No, I didn't have any particular reason. I was just doing some Christmas shopping. I did about basically the same rounds: Walmart, Best Buy, Target.
They have a toy section?
Well, they got a pretty good video game section. Well, I'm sorry, you mean Dillard's. I thought you meant Target there for a second. But
no,
the thing
Dillard's.
is, I briefly stopped at Golden Triangle Mall, pick up a gift card for my niece when the store is there. And I saw the Dillard's over there, and off in the kind of the corner looking down, I could see like a whole bunch of Christmas trees. And that's the thing. There's some Christmas decoration out there, but not a really full on Christmas section most stores right lately. And I kind of noticed that. I was like, I'm gonna go check that out. And I got over there, and wow, they actually had like a Christmas corner, and they had at least a dozen trees all fully done up, tons of Christmas knickknacks on tables made out of carved wood. It was actually really impressive. And some looked old too. They may have been kind of raiding some of their old warehouses to find some of this stuff.
As far as Dillard's back in the 90s on their usually their third floor, if they had a third floor.
Yeah, they really decided to go back into it. I mean, admittedly, I haven't been to a Dillard's in years and years and years and years.
It's where I shop usually for shirts. I also our Joseph I. Banks, our Macy's.
Gonna be honest with you, I never think much about where I acquire my shirts. I usually just run into whatever the place is closest that's affordable and find a shirt that fits.
That's not how I do it.
Yes, yes, I probably do need to improve my stylus, but yeah, it's kind of weird that Christmas, the beginning of the Christmas season actually brought us into places we hadn't been in a while. Department stores, wow, crazy.
Now the thing is there's a huge void in the whole atmosphere due to the lack of Toys R Us or a dedicated toy store.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think Macy's is going to fill it up unless they actually go to the trouble of making a dedicated toy section.
As opposed just to an opportunistic Christmas corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they also had a Christmas corner too. Nothing as elaborate as the one at Dillard's from the sound of it. But did you find anything good this Black Friday?
Lots of stuff off of friends and family lists. So much was achieved there. As far as myself, I found actually a couple decent anime deals on Amazon. Amazon put a lot of anime collections on pretty good discount. Which is kind of what usually I'd be looking at Right Stuff for that kind of thing, but well, they had some decent offerings. Amazon really beat them this time. Oddly enough, the only video game I picked up for myself, Target has the Scott Pilgrim fighting game. Well, it finally got re-released after it had become kind of a prime demonstration case for the problems with digital distribution.
Yeah,
because the license dropped, and basically if you hadn't bought it when it came
was
out, you were just
produced
screwed.
by Limited Run. I'm guessing.
Well, and it's also back on digital, and Target had it for 50% off. It's like $7 and some change. So I'm like, you know what? I'm totally going to grab that.
Yeah.
So
that's actually a very good deal for that.
And also, I probably am going to go ahead and hit up the e-store because I noticed they had a lot of stuff going on sale for Cyber Monday. So
most of the stuff I picked up was on Steam.
Yeah.
For myself. I picked up Oddly Psychonauts just because I was like, it's discounted, and I'm like, Psychonauts 2, mind you. And people are nominating it for Game of the Year, so I want to see why they're nominating it for Game of the Year. Because I like Tim Schafer games, and then I hate Tim Schafer games.
Or is it more accurate to say you like Tim Schafer games, but you hate Tim Schafer?
Probably.
Yeah, there we go. I think a lot of people are like that. That man he just doesn't know when to shut his mouth and to God, take his foot out of his mouth. Just
yes. And it plays really well, but so far my feelings are it feels a lot easier than the original game. And I don't have it. I have it just at normal level.
So here's an overall question for you while you're out and about. So when I was out there, now maybe we had some pretty nasty weather in DFW on Saturday. We had some the gray skies, lots of rain, lots of traffic accidents just driving around out there. Just a lot of flashing lights from emergency vehicles. But while things were, I'd say, pretty busy, I do not think that they were the usual Black Friday craziness.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. Oddly enough, the one thing that I did notice was Xbox games disappeared very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted to get some people copies of Resident Evil Village for Christmas because I like that game. I'll even admit that I voted for Resident Evil Village for Game of the Year on the Video Game Awards.
Well, that's the thing. I'll believe that just because Xboxes, the Series S, Series X, they're getting out there. I mean, places keep coming up with specials with offers for them. Well, PS5s occasionally turn up. Microsoft is getting those Xboxes out there and available, and then they've got their own financing programs where you can just do the payments.
Yeah,
that's how I got my X, and there's no interest on it, so might as well, you know. Yeah, I mean, so the consoles are out there, so people want games for them. It's just that simple, and that's just really not the case with the PS5 yet. I mean, sure, we're getting a decent number, but most of the people I know who really want one still do not have one.
Well, and you can play the same version of Resident Evil Village on the Xbox One as well.
Right. Oh, and that's the thing too. Exactly. You can buy the Xbox One game, and then once you get your Series X, just pop the same disc and you're good to go. As opposed to PS5, there's a lot of cases where they want extra to make that leap. Still an unwise move on Sony's side. I think that's going to really hurt them in the long run here.
Well,
But, yeah,
we'll get to another observation later.
Oh yeah, that's we could do a whole episode just on that issue. But
but
back to Black Friday though. So yeah, so it was definitely not the usual craziness, and because it seems like I've been seeing Black Friday specials being advertised and offered for at least a week now.
Yeah,
more than a week probably. I mean, everybody's been trying to just get their sales just out there immediate. No big one day event, no big weekend event. Just it's Christmas season. The sales are there.
I picked up some stuff the week before, actually, from Best Buy. So I already I'm basically at 90% done for the holidays.
Yeah, same here.
Christmas.
I'm doing like 3 or 4 small pickups, which unfortunately aren't even hard to find things. They're just like some basic gift cards and stuff.
Yeah, the last items I'm going to get are for my mother and father because I got them last year, ultra high definition television. So I really can't top that at the moment.
Yeah, same here. Because I don't know. I guess parents are just kind of the older parents like ours are kind of the boring people. So they don't have exotic desires that take a huge amount of effort to track down. So you just kind of leave them for last. Well, you know what they want. There's tons of things you can get in there easy to find. They'll make them happy.
So. I'll probably get them both books and some smaller item and call it a night.
Yeah, same here. Book and a gift card. That's
well,
that's what they're each getting.
Something other than the book. A thick book, and then some smaller item they can use. Yes, I try not giving gift cards. It's just something I try not to do, unless specifically told that's what they want. Then I make some sort of huge joke by putting the gift card in a huge box and then wrapping the box.
And also, one thing I noticed, because I had a couple things I'd gotten from Walmart. Because actually, Walmart had a couple of good pricing. I know it's like they had Hades for $20. The Switch physical copy. So I wanted to introduce one of my nephews to that. So grabbing that for him.
Yeah. Sometimes
Mario Odyssey was down at about 30 something too. That was I think a lot of people were doing that. But yeah, the thing is, what I noticed was they have shut down all the in-store kiosks for picking things up and moved everything to a side of the store where they just want people to pull up and they'll bring it out to you. It's not only have they spread the deals out time-wise, they are making sure that, and they even had huge signs saying for all Black Friday deals, go to side of store. They're only spreading it out. They're even trying to move it. They're trying to physically shift that activity out of the main aisles.
Okay.
Yeah, have you seen anything like that? Because I didn't quite see anything like that.
I just didn't notice the sign. Is the problem. I picked up a gift at Walmart from an angel tree kid I picked up. He wanted a heroic vehicle, so I was like, okay, Transformer. There you go.
Yeah, because when I was at the mall, I noticed they had a Toys for Tots bin. And I was just like, you know what? I went and bought a D&D starter set and popped that in there for some lucky kid there.
One of the I actually enjoy just getting gifts for people I'll never meet.
Yeah, well, just because kids deserve toys on Christmas. I mean, the idea of somebody not getting anything decent, that's just sad. I mean, so it's such an important part of our childhoods, and at the same time, it's hard out there for some people. So you can understand if some parents just can't do what ours did. And if we were there in person, we would if I actually had to walk into a house suddenly and see some kid just kind of listlessly sitting next to a tree saying, oh, no gifts for my Christmas, like, what, I'll be right back. This way I don't have to do that. I can just grab it, toss it in the Toys for Tots bin, and there you go.
Yeah.
So some kid will get it. It's all done for me. Super convenient.
Well, to be fair, when you do an angel tree, it's more complicated. You actually have to wrap the gifts yourself. And typically you have to also buy them clothes.
So there you go, man. Just go Toys for Tots. Embrace the laziness.
Yeah. I'm a nobleman. I can't embrace laziness. That's how the world got the way it is.
Oh, fine. Set an example if you must. Make us all look bad.
Nah. Anyhow, overall, it just seemed like a lazier, less violent Black Friday.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the magic because it really comes down to the offers being spaced out way more. But that's the thing. I'm wondering if that's going to be is this just going to stay a pandemic thing, where it's like, okay, we're going to space it all out because we don't want to have super spreader events, or is this really the vision of things to come that stores, these retail chains, really want to get rid of Black Friday? I mean, maybe not like completely. I mean, it'll always be a very busy shopping weekend as the official opening of the Christmas season. Yeah, but same time, I think I'm wondering if they're really going to put a permanent coordinated effort into trying to move away from the big, the Friday after Thanksgiving is just retail hell, all chaos unleashed, doors bursting open kind of event, towards this more prolonged, it's just the beginning of the season. It's a busy weekend,
You're just going to have to make sure that people pay attention to stuff as it comes out and sales are announced. That's the only downside. It's going to be a knowledge issue.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens when hopefully next year, if Omicron doesn't become the next major lockdown justification, then hopefully next year we'll have a quote unquote normal Christmas season, and we'll see what the retailers decide to do going forward.
Who knows? Anyhow, as Quinn last time proposed, I just wanted to do one last random thought, which doesn't necessarily have to do with Black Friday, but here is my random short thought. As I was looking through stuff this on Black Friday, and then my niece asked me something, I was like, yeah. So I started looking at, oddly enough, Sony PlayStation 4s. And I found out that there are none. You go to GameStop. Sold out. You go to eBay. They're about $200 more than they should cost. Honestly, it's just kind of like, okay. So why are we looking at Sony PlayStation 4s being so expensive? The PlayStation 5 already came out. Typically, after the start of a new PlayStation or a new console in general, you see the old console kind of still in GameStops or on eBay,
but dying off, being cheap. Yeah.
But
I think it's because they goes
back to the pandemic and people just bought up all what was available.
Right, and that's the situation. I think it's the PS4s are in demand because there are no PS5s. Effectively, I mean, yeah, there's some coming over, but it's still such a small number that the average person, if they want a Sony console, want to play the games from the PlayStation library, the PS4 was obviously until now the only console they could go grab with any sort of reliability. And now they've gone through those too because hey, PS5s are getting all the production priority. So PS4 production, I don't know if they're even actually actively making anymore.
Well, that's the odd thing. Typically Sony, for whatever reason, will continue to produce their previous version for years to come. So they still had a PlayStation 2 in production until 2011. So typically PlayStations will stick around for about 10 years in production in some form or not. It's kind of weird.
Because actually, I remember back in here we go. Because I remember there being a release about this back in January. Sony Japan actually confirmed almost all models of PlayStation 4 were taken out of production, and they did not increase the numbers of the remaining models to take up basically all that slack was given to the PS5.
Well, anyway, so if little Johnny wants a PlayStation 4, just I don't know what to tell you.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure there's still some PlayStation 3s sitting around in some retro gaming stores. So maybe mom and dad can go look for that. And if that's out, look for a PlayStation. Just work your way down the numbers. One of them will still be around.
Or just get a Switch.
Oh yeah, or yeah. 99% of people will just say, "Okay, I'm gonna buy a Switch instead."
Yeah. Anyway, so let's say happy Thanksgiving and
And a Merry Christmas.
well,
Start
we
of the
haven't gotten
holly
there
jolly
yet.
season.
I'm sure we'll have a Christmas episode at some point.
It's the Christmas season and
I know.
Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, whatever else people might be celebrating this month.
Well, I know
Merry.
there's no Ramadan this year at this time.
I see.
So anyhow, happy Thanksgiving from Nerdmusement. I'm the Count of Arcadia.
And this is Quinn.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.